Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on December 17th, 2023 at approximately 4:18 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I personally use to guide my actions, literally day in and day out. Now, these tools have worked for thousands of other people with varying degrees of success depending on their own personal efforts. So I know for a certainty in my own heart that these same tools and outlooks will help you as well, if you simply choose to make adjustments to what you may or may not be doing. But remember one little detail. If I say something that does not apply to you, don't take it on. Okay. If I make the comment that you're having trouble getting up in the morning and here's a way of doing it. If you don't have a problem getting up in the morning, don't worry about it. I am not the one with all the answers. I do not have all the way of doing things. And my way may not work for yours. I'll virtually guarantee my political approach to things, as in, ask a question, I give you an answer. Okay, not necessarily what you want to hear, but certainly what I'm thinking. Now, to be clear, everything I say is my personal opinion. And this is why I tell you, if you're seeing a doctor, absolutely, if it's working for you, talk to the doctor. For me, it's another issue altogether. But that's nothing against the doctors, that's against me. But that being said, this is an open topic. So if you've got a question, absolutely put the question in the chat room. Make certain you put it in all caps, all caps, partial caps, or at least a wavy hand so it will help me spot what you're asking. Okay, now before I go further here, football, you are in with the gold. And we have Kira, she's popping in and out, but she's out and about right now. Hopefully she'll catch up. But make certain you're careful out there, Kira. Kira is in with the silver. We have Missouri Man in with the bronze. And what do we got here? Joe Stewart has shown up with the honorable mention, followed right hot behind by Cowie Snyder and Celeste Sophia. Celeste, I have not heard that term from other people in a very long time. But look at the bright side. You made it here before the 5-minute mark before we close. Now, before I get into it, I must say thank you to each and every one of you, because the support I've had coming through this last couple of weeks has been nothing short of remarkable. Because of the stress I've been going through, I think I mentioned it yesterday, went down to get some help with some government paperwork. And because my stress level is where it is, I ended up breaking down in the doctor's office. Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Where are we here? I do have to find something. It's gotten bad enough from my standpoint that I literally started today. I was running a Dungeons and Dragons game. Okay. And I literally came to the conclusion I had to shut down running it. Oh, what did I do here? I cannot believe I did that. Whoops. We are having fun today, are we not? Let's do that. And we go tick. We go delete that. And this is where I ran into a minor little hiccup. This is the link to Nathan's live show. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. It is this way, this interaction, this mutual sharing that is going to help turn this world completely around. Okay, but it's going to take a fair chunk of work. That's just the way reality goes in this case. Now, what do I got here? Just want to make sure I'm not missing things. Here we are. Football's asking, will off-worlders get angry if their research subjects get a vasectomy? Not in the slightest. It's just part of the research. In other words, from their standpoint, if somebody goes and gets a vasectomy, that's part and parcel. They just go, okay, this is the way things were going now. What prompted that person to do that? Okay. To them, it is just another operation. Okay, and they've got different methods of solving the same problem. But that being said, it's still part of the evolution of this society. So no, they won't buy. From everything I've seen, they won't get mad at all. What's this? Friday, December 15th. That's already been attended. As I've mentioned, sitting around waiting for things to happen doesn't work that well. So we go up here. But no, I told the guys I am not running a game for the moment. However, that does open up other venues. Oh, wrong card. So I grab this one, put that back. And that is Skype. So we're just going to file that while I'm thinking about it because, well, let's face it. When you're looking at the way your life is running, like I go about doing a lot of change. So it really boils down to this. Okay. What are you not content with? Okay, I know there's a whole pile of questions running around out there. Like, for instance, people tell me the content in this stream is great. And I'm looking at it going, I run around in circles a lot. I'm not entirely certain how good that is, except for the fact that thus far, I haven't usually caused myself vertigo, which is a bonus. No, that's what that is. So, I look at it. Now, let's see what we got going on here. I have 5 shelves right beside me. And the thing is, if we're going to start, now I've already covered the issue of how to go about it. But let me ask you this. Okay, when you watch the way the world is running right now, in your eyes, when we look at the world in general, okay, what are the biggest concerns that you guys are concerned about? What's got your attention? Because what we've got to do is start with some idea of what the problem is. I feel like a politician, except for one little detail. Politicians go, what is the problem you see that we're facing? And then almost unilaterally ignore what you tell them. Okay, what I'm looking at doing, and this is, what is that? And this is where we're coming from. Why did I put my glasses away? Like, that was really brilliant, wasn't it? I turn around, politician seems to go, okay, I'm gonna do this for the world, for the country. I'm gonna do that for the country. You elect them into office and they go, well, my job of getting into office is done. Now I can do what I please. Okay. Where are we here? I appreciate that there, Nathan. I really do. Where are we here? By the way, yesterday's stream, I know you weren't on, But it really was. I mean, in one sense, it did make a lot of impact on me. It made a lot of impact on a lot of people, right? But in this case, I ended up, as a matter of fact, what was yesterday? Saturday. So I'm just looking here. Saturday, we were, yeah, I was in bed by 9 o'clock. Of course, I was in bed by 9 o'clock. And then I was up by 12:30. Okay. So, in all fairness, with the way my energy levels work, my ending up passing out, like I said, the fact that you usually have a stream at that time, I wasn't even awake by the time that your stream should have started. But I figure, okay, we're walking into 2024. Now, 2024 is a year for change. Well, quite frankly, 2023, 2021, 1904, 1865, all of them were years for change. I'd lay odds most of you weren't alive in the latter two. But if we got somebody in here that is born, 1904 or earlier, that would be wonderful. But when you take a look at it, in your eyes, way. Whoop. Yeah, there's no question that life gets a little busy. We just actually finished our game at 3 o'clock today. Fortunately, the game master that we've got that runs all the games at this point stepped up to the plate like that, and we got a game up and running. And I'll get to that on Tuesday. But Missouri man's going, if it's easy in life, it's probably not right. Uh-oh. Football, I am presuming you're referring to dildo. I get a kick out of it. A name like that, I don't care what people call themselves. I watch for what behavior is. What have we got? Man, whoop. Oh, thank you so much, Nathan. I really appreciate that. My trying to... Okay, so now I understand what a troll is. That translates into an IQ about the same size as a crushed thimble. I get a kick out of it. So there's the entirety. Where are we here? There is the entirety of the impact that I'm going to bother tolerating. Okay, well, here's a wonderful little idea. Perfect. Thank you so much, Kimberly. From my standpoint, oh, there we go. I do appreciate that. The reality of it is this. We have a world here that, yes, virtually everybody can have a better life. It's a question of what we do with it. I really appreciate you guys stepping up to the plate here. Uh-oh. If I had any idea how to do that, I would there, Nathan. Because honestly, it gets distracting and we got way too much work to do to get this world turned around. Okay, now virtually everybody in the room, virtually everybody is working towards making things better. The sad part is I take a look at things. As a matter of fact, now I really got to ask Celeste. Okay, I see you in here all the time, but what I don't know is what you've just mentioned, and you may have mentioned it before, but you've got a live stream yourself that you do. If this is the case, okay, do me a favor and get the live stream address to me so that I can get the link up and pop it up and pop it up from time to time. Which, as we've seen when people are in here, that's usually my trigger to make sure it goes in. Well, here's the neat thing about the way that life is going. Yeah, where do we go? The size of the channel is not the important thing there, Celeste. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, Celeste, I will do this, which is going to save us all a whole lot of trouble. Where are we here? Because I see you in here all the time, which I do appreciate. Don't get me wrong. The fact of the matter is, we certainly don't require, it's not a question of, we need 8,000 moderators. I know, even without moderators, that you guys jump on it. Okay. And mine's perfect? Got news for you, Celeste. Mine is an absolute shambles. In my eyes, anyway. Now, what do we got here? See if I can get this to copyright. And we go. We don't need that. We need to copy that. Go into here. Bring that up. And we pop that in. Just adding it to my list. What do we got? Celeste. Sophia. I think that gets changed to plain preamp too. I will have to correct that and sort it out afterwards. But if I run into a snag, I'll let you know. In any event, there is a lot of work to be done here. Okay. Because we've got to turn things around. Now let me ask you this. Shadow, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Let's see. Let's go and pop that one open. Pop that open and we find Shadow's link. Hey, that was not nice. And this is the link to Shadow's live stream. Well, more to the point, to Shadow and Son's live stream. Again, drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, absolutely give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of it. Okay, now let me ask you this. Well, let's get back to the basic idea here that I started with, which is weird. But, let me put it this way. If you look at the world that you're living in right now, what are some of the things that we really have to start looking and turning things around? Okay. What are we? Well, that's very true, Missouri. You know, oh, that's what that was about. You know, if you take a look at it, what, from your standpoint, are some of the things that we really have to start changing in this world? Now, I will tell you, the first thing that's got to happen is people have to start, or it would be wise for people to start really paying attention to what you're doing with your own life. Are you, number one, are you being true to you first? Have you managed? And I know I mention this a lot, but there's a reason for it. Have you managed to get this sign, I am worth it, up on your freezer, on your fridge in the kitchen? The reason I say put it there is because the fridge is the one thing in people's house that everybody seems to read. You go to walk by it, and everybody reads whatever's written there. This is one of the reasons why people put their kids' artwork on it and that sort of thing. But here's the kicker. Even if it's just the emblem on the fridge, it seems most people read it. Oh, where are we here? Gavin goes, I keep the bookmark of your phrase on my desk. That works, The bookmark that Nathan's referring to is this one. I go up here. Every book I sell, I have these in hand. Now, the bookmark itself says, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. Okay. Now this is the same. This is also the title of the first book, of the one book that I've got. Okay. But on the back of this is that same sign. Okay. So very important from my standpoint. Very easy to set in motion. Now, let me just see. Did I do something odd here? Uh-oh. I do think, by the look of this, I may have to order different bookmarks. Yep. I got to make a change to the bookmark layout for next year. But that's okay. These still work quite well. Now, here's the neat part. Okay. Now, I tried laying out a floor plan, as a matter of fact. I get a kick out of it. Like I've told people, I don't research. I remember what I've seen, and here's why I don't research. Other than the fact I'm lazy. The one thing the one thing about the idea of research is this. When you research, at least what I've found, is so much of the information is, it's all, a lot of the stuff you find on the net is all saying the same thing, which I don't have a problem with. It corroborates a lot. My problem with it is if the information is incorrect from what I remember, I look at it going, okay, there's something wrong. But the kicker is when I go, this is what I'm seeing, and I go, this is what I'm saying, what I know is happening. 30 years down the road, when I was back in the 70s, I was telling people that, look, the government knows how much money is in your pocket. This was not a question of over spying on you or worrying about that. Because, politely put, most of you are not that important. The government does watch everything, absolutely. And we're not going to the other side of that can come up with. But in the 70s, when I made the comment, I was constantly told, look, that's completely wrong. Our research shows that this is going on. The government is not doing this. 30 years later, the information came out that, in fact, the government was tracking people's money in the 70s. This is why when people tell me what you're saying doesn't coincide with what the research says. Of course it doesn't. This being said, and look at this. This is the what I've got my bookmarks and what have you in. It looks like a normal book, but it keeps everything contained. So you just take this and pop it up out of the way. But that's why I don't do a whole lot of research. What do we got here? Rubber white, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Robert, a lot of it is. Now, admittedly, my outlook on life, like everybody else's, is likely a little tainted. Okay, with what I've been through, it's not really a shock. Now, that being said, Kimberly, going back to that, okay, number one, I'm starting to lay everything out. The government itself is, I'm absolutely certain, going to tell me it's not working. Okay, that it's not a necessary thing. That's what they told me with the printing company. So what I'm working on right now is changing all of that. I am simply building what I know is required. I know people require it, and I'll tell you, I will put it to you this way. Okay, and yes, this is going to sound like tooting my own horn. Okay, and in all fairness, it is. So many of you have no idea. Like you desire your life to change, but so many of you don't even know where to start. Okay, so I'm going to show you how easy it is. But this little booklet here, okay, at this point only available through me. Okay, where are we here? Fine, and yes, I am working on figuring out the marketing side of things. Just kind of the necessary road. Okay, so we go copy that. This is the email address by which to drop me a line. If you are looking at, or more to the point, okay, let's try one thought at a time. What do you think? When you're looking at purchasing this book or any of the others I've got, this is, well, that did not do what it was supposed to. This is the link that gets you there. It's also the link that I use for PayPal, the email that I use for PayPal. I will tell you, so many of you have no clue where to start. Okay. So, what we're looking at now, as far as the healing center goes, I've started laying, and where did this? So I can actually keep things organized. The first thing I'm starting to do, is that what that is? Okay, let's pop this down. I've got to set it up again. This sheet has been up on my wall. I'm going to be enhancing it and darkening it and what have you. But, like I did with myself personally, okay, this one you can't see all that well, and that's why, well, why don't we get started on that? What do you think? Take this. What this is masking tape that I'm taking off the back. Hey, gravity works. Ain't that a wonderful thing? Although there is somebody in the States that is still touting off that we are running out of gravity, which will make the population problem a whole lot less problematic. At least if you ask me, it will. Okay, that over there. Now, why don't we start building that on the back? Okay, clean slate. Let's get let's head into 2024 with an absolute concrete idea of taking the healing center and making it an absolute running concern. Okay, so we now have a blank slate. Whoop, take that, put that up there, get that out of my way. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, what did I miss here? Football goes. Oh. Football, that is not good for your health. But what do we got here? Let's go back up. Just scrolling back up. Oh, Shadow, take care. I missed you heading out. I was grabbing that. But absolutely, I hope you have a good evening. Football. Just scanning through what's been read. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and this is in response to Shadow. Now, the ironic part is when I talk about research, technically it really refers to research. Where the information from this book came from. Okay, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. That came from, it may be classified as research. I didn't go out talking to people to say, hey, what is it that you're looking for? Or how would you go about this? What I did was this is what I'm seeing. And I offered people an idea on how to make their life work. And the tools in these are because so many people ask me the same questions. Okay, which is why I put it into point form. What do we got? Yeah. Where are we here? Okay. Yeah, football. And this literally applies to any of you. Okay, now do understand. They're checking me for type 2 diabetes or something to that effect, and colon cancer, the whole 9 yards. Like I told my doctor, if I'm dying, don't tell me. I'm not that interested. Right. But I will tell you, I had a lady come to me one day. The doctors had done everything they could. According to them, they'd done everything. When she came to me, her leg was black. If you picture this as being the foot, her leg was black all the way, halfway up the calf. When she came to me, I did two major things. Number one, stay working with the doctors. They're doing the best they can with what they've got access to. Okay. And rest assured, most of the doctors have more education than you do in that department. But if you are open to alternative methods, as in energy work, find somebody local that claims to be gifted, and hopefully that is gifted in working with the chakras. Okay, and this is specifically, where are we here? This is specifically football being handed to you. Okay, and yes, I will tell you this: given everything goes well, next year when the SOR party takes place, I do intend on being at that party. But until then, find somebody trained in the healing arts. Okay. And specifically in the alternative healing. Okay. The reason for that, you go to them and to open your foot chakras. Okay. Now, if they tell you foot chakras are a minor thing, okay, and that isn't going to help, walk away, find a different one. Okay, I opened up the foot chakras and a couple of other things, pulled the lass out of a wheelchair after 3.5 years. The lady I was just referring to, her foot was black all the way to, halfway. If this was the foot, her leg was black halfway up the calf. When I got a hold of her, okay, they were looking at amputating it. However, we went to work on it with, and like I said, with energy work, you never lay a hand on it. What ended up happening is we opened everything up. She only lost this toe. Okay. Just this one. I think it was this one, might have been the second one. Okay. But out of a foot that was black all the way to here, we managed to turn it around so she only lost one toe out of the deal. Doctors have no idea what went on. Oh, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did say the new prosthetic was coming in. I think you said the middle of January. What do we got here? Oh, nice, Nathan. I think that's a fabulous idea. And absolutely, by the way, any ideas you guys have that you think would help in the marketing department, okay, would be greatly appreciated. Okay, but let's just catch up and then we can get somewhere here. Absolutely, Celeste. Where are we? Okay. Oh, nice. That's always a bonus there, Missouri. I haven't found out the results. I only went in on Friday and got the blood work done. Although it was really cute, because halfway through trying to take blood, my veins decided, hey, we're not giving anymore, and they seized up on her. But the heart was still working fine. She takes a look at it and goes, she looked at the file and she says, why? Like, how in tarnation? She says, everything was running fine. And she said, all of a sudden, the blood stopped flowing. I says, well, my veins do that. She goes, that's not possible. I says, yeah, I know. So you get used to it. Yeah, that, what I call yeah. And that makes total sense, Robert. That, unfortunately, is all too common. Football, the answer is yes, it absolutely can. Okay. But again, first and foremost, you're dealing with a little bit of an issue of you've got to remind your body that it does this. Okay. The fact of the matter is your body knows how to heal. Okay, that is just a simple, straightforward, what I call a fact. Okay. The neat part about it is as long as you put the effort into it, your body will respond. But absolutely, I know this sounds weird coming from me. Okay. Nice, Celeste. I mean, I do try and keep my caffeine level up, but no, the neat part about it is the body can turn itself around. All you have to do is remind the body to heal. Okay, that's all you got to remind the body to do. Oh no, I didn't take it that way. I was thinking, I actually didn't take it as judgment. I just thought it was kind of comical. You know, it's kind of like I tell people, you know, people are severe alcoholics. It's like, is your alcohol blood level too low? You know, I know some people that they drink way too much. And the problem is, if you think it's a good thing, you might be mistaken. Take a look at the way your body is working. Sure, you can, Robert. We can all talk about it. The fact of the matter is that you know what your body's up to. Okay, now let us see something here. I have to, because I'm going to go back to this whole idea of the progress we're making on the Healing Center. And I require this. So we're going to take this, and here's where it starts. Take my glasses off so I can actually see, might be an idea. But right in the center of it all, and we'll use the term center a little loosely. Okay, so here's where we take a look at the overall size. Okay, I've got my glasses off, so I can't see what I'm looking at. Okay, there you go. Now, that is the center. Now, let me ask you this. I already have a fair chunk of pieces that I understand are required. Okay, and I will be adding to them. What are we here? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go and get my eyes checked this week because I know there's something off kilter with them. But I know with the Healing Center, first and foremost, understand it's actually what I'm actually doing. It's a Healing Center, yes, but there's far more to it. But I'm going to be copyright or trademarking the name before I get too far down the road. Okay. Robert goes, energized, turned rum and coke, right? Energized. Energized rum and coke might give the alcohol a better buzz. Honestly, I can tell you it does. I'm also going to tell you that's not necessarily a good thing. Now, when we start thinking in terms of things that require healing, resetting, altering. Okay, now, I've already mentioned that one of the aspects that we're doing here, and this is just a branch. Okay. We have here one branch of the Healing Center is going to be the publishing company. Okay. We also are going to have another branch will be consulting, but off the consulting, we have coaching, and we're going to lose this pen. We've got the coaching, we've got the consulting, we've got the coaching. Okay, now bear in mind, when we're looking at coaching and consulting, we are talking personal and business. Wherever we are talking about an individual, we are referring to an individual. We are referring to businesses as an individual as well. Okay. Wow, what do we got here? Yeah, something else I found that I found out from a friend of mine there, football, was parrots, especially macaws. Okay, but you got to be careful. You know, I eat these things. Salt contents kind of is convenient for me. But the one lady that I knew, she raised parrots. And she said, especially the macaws that she was raising anyway, liked the Hawkins cheesies. See, the only reason that I don't, aside from I'm not allowed pets in my apartment, okay, the reason I don't have parrots is I can't handle the high pitched squawk. Now, where are we here? Oh, I got to get another pen. That's why. So, I'm just putting a couple of things down here that I know of. Now, bring this back over. This is how fast things can change. Okay, we've got the healing center here. Inside that healing center, we will have a publishing company. We will end up with a whole section for the paranormal, and we'll get to more of that in a moment. And of course, the consulting field, which will include counseling. You know, it will include coaching. Now, bear in mind, I am not licensed person. I'm licensed as a psychic consultant. Absolutely. Am I licensed as a counselor or as a life coach? No, but then I don't know if anybody can be. Oh, neat, Emmy, a Beretta bird. Some of you will remember Beretta from way back in the 70s. Uh-oh. Gee, Robert. Now, he's got, I mean, obviously that neat little cockatoo has to have a little bit of age, a few years on you. Where are we here? Oh, yeah. Missouri saying the healing center should take a helical shape, mimic the DNA and RNA. Funny thing is, it's not going to take that kind of a shape. I do have it designed, and I will have to put it together, put it on paper. I'm not going to draw it here for you. Okay, again, I'm not really good. I am not an architect, and my artwork is absolutely appalling. Okay. Now, what do we got here? Well, here's the neat part. I have designed something. It's actually got 3 wings. The way I've built the floor, okay, actually has 3 wings to it. But we will get to that as we add things to it. But with this, okay, because I'm putting them all in motion now. Okay, we've got the publication, we've got the paranormal, we've got the consulting. Now, here's the other part of healing. Like, let me ask you this. When you think of healing, is there anything you can think of offhand that I haven't put here? I've still got a few other things I know I'm adding. I'm just curious what other people are seeing as far as that goes. Yeah, you're absolutely correct there, Celeste. When you start looking at a physical construct, you have to realize that everything is interconnected. Okay. Now, the neat part with trying to build a vehicle and build a piece of property that is absolutely round is today's architecture can't handle it properly. They do it in smaller angles, if you will. But there is a way that I figured out how to do it. Because much as I'm looking at a three step, filling in, and this is something I will be dealing with. Okay. Where did my pen go? I always get a kick out of it. Pick up a felt pen or whatever, and the thing goes missing on me. And that's bad. I will have to deal with that right away because I wasn't expecting it to take off that quick, but hey, what the heck. So with that in mind, while I find my pen, give me 10 seconds. I have to deal with this because I'm already late. That said, don't go away. Hey, I'm late. I got online. I'm actually on air right now, but I figured, no, I'm taking the break and calling you to make sure you're up. Oh, okay. Well, okay, love. Oh, I will go back and finish my stream. I told them that I had to make this happen. So, I put them on hold while I came and got you up. No problem, love. Okay, love you. Okay. Sometimes my life gets really hectic in case you hadn't noticed. But, and I'm still missing the pen and I have no idea where the heck it went. Or did I not grab one, which is a likely probability. Okay. Now we've got, like I said, the Healing Center has a publication. It's got the paranormal side. It's got the consulting. But here's the other thing it requires. Okay. Is the physical health. You pop that in there, and along with that, an offshoot of it will be diet. Okay, now let me ask you this. We're looking at the way this is expanding, and this is just some of what's going to be taking place. Are there any areas in life that you guys feel are off kilter and need some work? Okay, and require some work or some streamlining, if you will. Where are we here? That I absolutely agree with. Missouri man is just going, orbital architecture is easier than stacking blocks and saves material. In a lot of ways, yeah, it really does. Okay, we do have to unfortunately work within modern technology, modern released technological abilities. Oh, Joe, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The answer to your question is yes, it is. Now on the plus side, oh, there it is. On the plus side, this is not an actual bone skull. Somewhere decades back, I stumbled across this. This is a life-size plastic replica. It used to have a working mandible, but it was a paranormal event that actually broke the mandible. You know, where are we here? So I mean, this is just one of those weird things I tend to hang on to. But what do we got? The reality is people are being taught, and this is where we have to go sideways. People are being taught to not think, to simply go with the flow. And going with the flow, well, it's kind of like being in a river, in a boat on a river with no paddles and heading for the waterfall. It's not going to end well in all likelihood. You know, I have no idea. In all honesty, Joe, I know who lived in it. Okay, because I had a spirit actually move into it, but I have no idea who it was modeled after. And for all I know, it could have been, it could well have been a what do they call it? A assembly line manufacturing thing. Yeah, a variation on that, Celeste. A buddy of mine put it this way: dead fish, only dead fish don't swim upstream. Okay. I don't know what who the hell was. I can tell you this: this was not the skull that William Shakespeare used when he went. When he held the thing up and he goes, Horatio, I knew him well. Do not ask me what the rest of that is. I do know this was not Horatio, but who it was, I really don't know. Oh, absolutely. I actually told one when she showed up. She looked at the skull and she made a comment about it. And I says, knock yourself out and take up a stump, pull up a stump. I used to keep this thing hidden all year and only bring it out at Halloween. But things got a little different. Okay. Yeah, we got what do we got there? We've got dieting going on under physical health. We've got gardening that is required. But here's the other thing. Okay, now this is, you're seeing how quick this can take off. And what I'm doing is starting to make all of these things happen at the same time. Yeah, absolutely, Emmy. Oh no, but I'm almost certain. Like I get a kick out of now that you mentioned Chucky there, Robert. This guy here. this little chap here. My youngest son made this in grade 6. Now, it is a standard, it's a standard hand puppet. Okay. There's no moving parts to it. And yet, he had it sitting in his bedroom. Right. He had it on on his shelf, laying down. In the middle of the night, he sits, my son is going getting ready to go to bed. And all of a sudden it does this. And then looks at him. Well, he grabbed the puppet and comes running into my room. Now, remember, he was only in grade 6 when this happened. He is graduated, right? But it was laying there on the shelf without a hand in it or anything, thankfully. I mean, that would have been gross. And all of a sudden, it sits up and then turns to look at him. Okay, now I cannot do what it did because when it sat up, right? It sat up and turned to look at him, which is a really freaky thing if you're in your bedroom at night and it's dark out. But I don't know. I do know this guy's never tried to bother me since I had him, but they know better. I'll put him back up there out of the way. My son actually asked me just the other day, why didn't you get rid of it? Why is it still here? I said, well, he's not actually bothering me, and it is kind of unique. Or at least rare. Okay, now, with this healing center in mind, here's where it gets to be really freaky. Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree there, Joe. Walk your own path. Like, absolutely, you must be true to you first. Now, here's the part of a healing center that few people talk about. Okay. Whoop. Okay, now, we also have this neat little thing. This branch, which is technology. And I'm referring to, when we're talking about technology, I'm referring to part of the healing center being designed so that if you have, for instance, a vehicle that is in trouble, okay, so we have technology being broken into mechanical, okay, and electronic. Okay, now see how quick things can start laying out. Now, the nice part about it with this is I figured out how to link it all together. Okay, all of that can be linked together. Still working on getting the rest of it. But if you guys think of something that requires attention that is still off kilter, okay, bear in mind. Oh, that is something I should have put in here. We take, under the physical health side of things, we take modern and I'd call it alternative, but in all fairness, that doesn't make sense. So instead of calling it alternative, we would call it ancient. See how quick that grows? These are all things that are already listed. Although I am still leaving the door open from that standpoint. Celeste, that is an excellent. That is actually on the list. I just hadn't gotten there, but absolutely, when we are talking about the healing, we are also talking about not only the animals, but that is the point. The plants we talked about in a manner of speaking, but what do we got? Where are we here? Housing for animals and people that need it. So, absolutely. And yeah, you take the people that are struggling. Okay, one of the things that I would like to do is literally put living accommodation. Now, due to the fact that we've got all sorts of neat little catches here, we go down here and let's bring this. We will take this line and go down here, and we will put housing in here. Now, bear in mind, as things evolve, this will all be brought into balance. So we have housing being broken into animal, poor people. Now, bear in mind, the poor, I'm not talking about people necessarily that don't have any money. I'm talking about people that are struggling. If you're having trouble getting ahead, if you're having trouble making things work, okay, this idea of going, oh, you have to be below a certain level of income doesn't work for me all that well. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the growing herbs and vegetables, the whole gardening side of it absolutely is necessary. Now, we have animal, we have poor. In the consulting, we have to have rehab and education. Oh, here we've already got modern and ancient techniques, but we also have to have horticulture and veterinary. And you're going to love this one, but it falls under the technical side. Under mechanic, not only do we have to have the mechanical side of it, but we've got to have repair facilities. And the neat thing about it is this is stuff I'm going to make happen with or without the backup. Absolutely, Celeste. You know, and that's why I'm adding all of these, is because as you see, as you can tell, this web is growing really quick. Only I forgot to do something there. Doesn't look right. So we come down here and we run this little branch and we put a school in here. We have creative. We have healing arts. And we have expressive. Of course, that gets broken down into another area. Now, and of course, this covers a whole lot of things. I do believe I spelled that wrong. I'm going to have to live with it. Okay. Oh, of course. I missed one here, but it can come right off of the education. Oh, that was school. Okay, I doubled up on that. That's okay. We also require finances. And we are, on top of that, we are going to have I am going to put a charity together. But understand, when I get the charity up and running, the charity will be 100% funded by the company, not by any of the donations. The biggest complaint I've got about most charities is so much money gets taken out of the donation itself to be put into, to cover the cost of running it. This is, in my opinion, wrong. Okay, but we've got financial, we've got the educational, motivational. Now, do understand something very important. What I'm looking at building here. No, charity is not. If I'm telling you I'm going to build a charity, that means that literally if somebody puts $10 in and says, this is for the charity. Okay. If it says that, then let's say they say, I've got $10 to put towards a charity. Okay. 100% of that $10 will go to whatever the charity is. What I've got to do is lay it out in such a fashion that I don't have a problem with it, legally speaking. Okay. And this is all being done, whether or not I get backup or not is not going to be the issue. Where are we? Everywhere in each zip code would be ideal for the country, for a proper country. And I agree with you there. Missouri man goes, you take Alexandria's library to a whole another level. Well, here's the thing. Okay. When we talk about Alexandria's library, there was so much information in there that was kept away from the public. Now, you've seen what the public has been doing recently. Oh, there's a beautiful work of art that's lasted for thousands and thousands of years. Let's destroy it because we don't like the way that looks right now. Now, what kind of rationality is this other than really skewed? Yeah, the neat little, where are we here? Yeah, the neat part about water, Missouri, okay, most pagans work with 4 elements. Technically, they work with 5: air, earth, water, fire, and spirit. Funny part about it, take a look at the properties of water and air, and you will find they operate the exact same fashion. Therefore, I work with air, earth, fire, and spirit. Okay. In all fairness, when you look at that, spirit is where everything starts off. Comes into air, the mind. Comes into the physical world, earth, and then gets pushed out through fire, as in energy. The higher the passion, the more you commit to yourself, the faster and the more effective it's going to move. Exactly. That is precisely the issue, Nathan. And that's why I really have to sit down with you one of these days when we get time. And I do know that Christmas is coming. Okay. And yes, after I get done this stream, that's what we are doing, is decorating the tree and the house. That's already been set in motion. Whether you guys celebrate Christmas or not is not a big issue. Okay, it's not a thing of, oh, you have to celebrate Christmas in this fashion. No, you don't. No, but there are flying fish and swimming birds. The flying fish itself is a well-known fish. When you take a look at penguins and cormorants, and for that matter, pelicans, these are fish that literally swim underwater. Now, what I haven't seen, well, that's not true. The burrowing owl is an owl that lives underground. Okay, so there is an infinite variety of life going on, and all of it is interconnected. Okay, this is just the nice part about it. Okay, as a matter of fact, I gotta deal with that too, but that'll be first. So, this gives you an idea of where the healing center is sitting. What do we got? Well, the other option is fork and light socket. Don't do that, Nathan. Whatever you do, do not do that. It's amazing how many people will do something absolutely stupid just because somebody says, oh, here's an idea. Like the genius that says, oh, you want to try, you remember that absolutely genius maneuver. Oh, let's take a Tide Pod. And if you're a man's man, you'll eat the Tide Pod. Right, because that shows you're macho. I'm looking at it going, that shows you're messed up. Way beyond what I am. But it's literally this kind of thing. Now, as you can see, okay, now bear in mind, the healing center that we've got going on. Okay, oh, I forgot to do this. We have coming off the publication, we have newsletter. We have books. Starting to run out of room on the paper, but as you can see, this is simply part of the project. Okay, this is simply what we're working on, and we will be adding to it. As a matter of fact, there's the other thing that I forgot. Not under publication. Where do I have a branch here I can work with? Oh, missed one. Take this and we circle that one, and we circle this one, and then we have coming through here, we also have to have taking this all the way over to here. Oh, Yes. I'm certain some of you guys remember this. This is something so many people are not being taught. Okay. As we get way over here, and we now have your home ec. You know, that thing like teaching people how to make their own clothing, how to improvise with what you've got. Okay. Oh, that is an excellent thing. We do have to pop that in there because it's got to be part of it. What did we do here? Oh, right. We also have to have, now where can we run that to? And we have here, we have entertainment, we have dining. And of course, where are we here? Oh, forgot to put that here. I may have doubled up. We're getting a little jammed on space. But added to that whole picture, we now have, coming down off this line here, your entertainment, nightclubs, that sort of thing, and your dining. Okay. Now, I didn't separate it into fine dining or fast food because, quite frankly, they're still dining. And I have gone to some fine dining places that absolutely turned into a disaster. You know, the funny thing there, Missouri man, is I've actually got the designs to take Sonic M and to take and other people. It's already been built, frankly. There is a piece of equipment out there that is already built to take sonic vibration and turn it into energy. Now, what would be the impact if we were to take a nightclub, and I mean a popular nightclub, and all we added to it was a sound funnel? Okay, a sound funnel to generate a sonic collection unit. And Nathan, this drops right into your wheelhouse. A sonic collector to generate power and charge an electric and charge a power system to run the house, you know, to run the building. How effective do you think that would be? Okay, now somebody may well come up and build this. I don't care. Okay, I don't care who does it. It needs to be done. Lord knows if we were to take, you know, absolutely Missouri. You know, the fact of the matter is this world is it's chock full of sound. Okay, why, with all the technology and all the great minds in the world, why has nobody figured out how to take the energy coming off of pollution and convert that into energy? The technology, I can tell you how it works. I can't build it. Okay. Neat part about it, Celeste, quartz dust, as you know, I'm sure you know, is an amplifier. And this is why I was talking to Nathan a little while ago about building a crystal computer. They work better than a standard computer does. But they're hard as heck to convert to a keyboard. You know, all of these things are interconnected. Well, yes. And the real catch there, you know, Nathan's just saying it's expensive, which it is. Okay. But let's face it, maybe I'm overstepping, but billions of dollars are being dumped into killing each other. Would it hurt to take $1 billion and sink it into an energy conversion plant? You know, we're spending, and when I'm talking we, I mean around the world, countries are spending billions going, you're all going to die and we're going to make sure you get there by starting another war. Or you're all going to hell if you don't actually do exactly what I tell you to do. Okay, we've got billions of people listening to this drivel. Why not take a couple of $1 billion and build an energy conversion system? Okay, and let's scrap the idea of, oh, well, you know, free energy will collapse the world. Newsflash, we already have free energy. Okay, do I have the technical and technological expertise to make it apparent? No, not just yet. Oh, Nathan. In all fairness, I am literally looking at a healing center designed to literally affect the entire world. Yeah, Nathan's going, big oil will not let it happen. And the world is seeming to collapse now. Oh, I absolutely agree with you that they are going to fight it. I didn't say this was going to be easy. What I said is if we don't do anything, we're going to be looking at the Roman Empire all over again. Now, I can either sit here and go, it's going to burn, which, trust me, I have sat and looked at that quite often. Absolutely. Okay. The sad part there, Missouri man, I know personally of an oil filtration system that has been tested on the Athabascan oil flats up here in Canada. Take a cup of oil-soaked sand, run it through this procedure. It bleeds off about a quarter cup of crude oil. It bleeds off about half of sandbox fresh sand. Okay, and its only runoff is a quarter cup of potable oil. Now, I talked to the guy that invented it. Okay, so this isn't even something that we're talking about hearsay. Okay, this one I picked up right solid. Absolutely. And this is the thing. You know, this is the thing we have to realize is as long as we keep telling people that the government will never allow this, do understand, way back during the Scottish Clan Wars, okay, it was said the clans will never agree, they will never come together. Okay, it was said that the colonies in the United States would never unite. Okay, never is a very long time. Um, you know, I thought about that, Missouri, and that's actually one of the biggest arguments I've had with myself. You know, and many of the people early on in this stream, especially in the first year, well, that transition between my first and second year, many of the people in this room really stepped up and gave me the encouragement to stay on this track. Okay, because there was a real big part of me that was looking at this going, people aren't listening. They're not making changes. But let me ask you this. Okay, much as I understand the concept, let the world and the wicked go where it belongs. Okay, mankind and all people in all from all walks of life, okay, all species were given free will, free choice. Okay, now let me ask you this. Okay, yes, we could step back and let them burn. Absolutely, we could. But if you were having trouble seeing the world in a brighter fashion, if you will, yeah, Joe, the paranormal, I just didn't expand on it. It is locked right in. There's your healing center, and right off the bat, we've got the paranormal here. But there is so much going on here. Trying to include everything was going to be a problem. Okay, but am I going to start teaching people how to do what I do? The answer is yeah, I am. Okay, now I do have, like all of you, I have the option of turning around and going, no, you're too far gone. I hoped when I was 5 years old and I pulled away from the world, I literally went into hiding. I sat there for 55 years waiting for people to wake up and go, this ain't working. Well, it turns out that the people that are saying this isn't working are also being taught by people that also say it isn't working. So let me put this one on the table. Okay, when we take a look at the world as it is right now, I love that Missouri man, and let me paint a picture for you. Okay, Missouri goes, bring who you wish, save who you can. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. I will tell you, you can so. You just have to think outside the box. And you will get wet. But if a bunch of you work together and you force the horse to lay down, and then you force to hold the horse's head underwater long enough for it to take a drink, let the horse come back up. It will take a drink. Okay, you can do it with anybody. I recommend you don't. It's also called inhumane. But I didn't say it was humane. I said it was doable. Okay, so we have to find a better way to encourage them. You know, somebody accused me the other day of having a dark sense of humor, or more to the point, a morbid one. Told that to my buddy, and he looks at me and he goes, "Boy, you haven't met me yet." My buddy in grade 8 figured out how he sat down and designed a nuclear warhead just because he wanted to see what the bang looked like. No, he didn't build it. The authorities decided that was a bad idea. Okay, since then he's changed a little. He's not trying to build one. And in all fairness, he never really did get very far with it. I mean, he figured out all the ins and outs. But you are absolutely right. This is not an easy job. Okay, it really isn't. And I could pack it in because there are many days when I'll sit here. Okay, there are many days where I will sit here and I will go, I feel like I'm screaming into the wind. Think back. Noah felt like that when he kept telling people the rain was coming. Here's what you got to do. Okay, some people listened. What they don't tell you about Noah, about the great flood, was that Noah's Ark was the big one. And yes, they did find it at the top of Mount Ararat, as was stated. What they don't tell you is the number of people that grabbed things that were floating or small boats. They rapidly put together smaller boats and tried to survive. Problem was that number one, okay, we got to realize that people didn't listen and wait until the last minute. You guys wait till the last minute, and I mean the world on the whole. You wait till the last minute, and all of a sudden you've got a massive problem. Okay, because and this is why there's so much activity going on with the off-worlders coming around, because we are right now on the precipice. We're on a precipice, and the xenosocioeconomic evolution that is taking place right now is in all likelihood going to end in one of two fashions. Okay, absolutely football. I see people waiting till the last minute. Back in 2003, we had a fire here that evacuated a third of our city. Now our city has at the time had 100,000 people in it. 33,000 were evacuated. Okay, but people waited till the last minute. Okay, if you know a problem is coming, you've got the option: sit back and wait for it to get there, and then fight like a monkey to figure out how to survive it. Or you can start planning by talking to the people around you and encouraging them to start moving forward, to start altering the way things are going. Now, I know from what I've seen in the chat room here, I know many of you are getting that message, and many of you are passing that message on to others. Okay, now what am I looking for here? Let us refresh that. So there are a staggering number of people that are actually working towards making this happen. Okay. No, absolutely not, Missouri. All of them will not be saved. Absolutely will not. Some of you will do your best, and because of the chaos that's coming, some of you won't make it. I may not make it. Okay. But it literally is, and because of the encouragement that I've gotten from you guys, that I even bother to carry on pushing. Okay, instead of saying, like the groundhog, I came out of my hole in the wall, took a look around, didn't like the weather, and went back in and put my feet up. Okay, but your guys' encouragement, and we can go right back to Spaced Out Radio. The encouragement that I ran into and that I got from there, okay, to actually go on live feed was absolutely astounding. Okay, and this is why I haven't packed it in. It's literally because of you guys. Okay, and that's where we have to go and where we have to look at it. Now, where did I put it? I think I'm sitting on it here. Whoop. So, what I have to do when I get off this stream, because where are we here? What is that, 138? Yeah. So, I mean, that was a long, drawn-out way of looking at the healing center. Okay. And is there more to it? You bet. But I've got to start working with it now. Now, I was really happy about one neat little thing. Okay. One of the subscribers that I've got for the newsletter, I went and told them, like I told you guys, some of you were only getting the physical hard copy of the newsletter. I've had to reset the whole 9 yards because I blew my printer up. The physical email, the physical newsletter will not be coming out for the time being, simply because of the fact that I don't have the printer to do it with. And in 2024, one of my big projects is to replace the entire computer system. Now, with that in mind, guys, when we're looking at improving this whole computer, okay, or replacing it, more to the point, in your guys' opinion, what are some of the things that you feel, not by name, I mean by category? Like, obviously, I'm going to require the computer itself. I'm going to require a second monitor, a solid hard drive backup, an external camera, and an external mic. Now, is there anything I'm missing that you feel, especially in the way of technology, that any of you feel would be beneficial as far as upgrading the computer to essentially state of the art? Okay. Now, bear in mind, I've only got so much room to work with, but knowing what would be beneficial. Oh, Joe's asking, where did the paranormal come from? I know it wasn't invented. Did it come from the aliens? No. Paranormal literally means kind of normal. What it boils down to is paranormal encompassed everything until science started figuring it out. So you take the entire unknown world, and the spiritual people, the religions developed and went, we can explain it this way. I mean, you think about it. It was the whole weather system was considered paranormal. It wasn't called paranormal, but it was an unknown factor. Okay. And it stayed that way until a scientist, a logically thinking, analytical individual, figured out how to track, replicate, and understand the weather system. Now it becomes science. Okay. Or it becomes normal. It was considered paranormal. The whole concept of cooking food was a paranormal concept. It was a non-normal thing. But as people came to understand that cooking certain foods made them edible, cooking other foods destroyed their usefulness. Okay, as knowledge came about, they turned around. They turned around and figured it out, thereby making the paranormal normal. And I just know Missouri's going, some lighting and a backdrop of the universe. What do we got here? Some lighting and a backdrop of the universe. Everyone that slowly, even one that slowly moves through time would be nice. I am making a note of that. Okay. I don't know what I'll be able to do with it, but having it as a note is a good idea. That actually is instead of having to look at we'll call it a backdrop and put it in front of me so you don't have to look at my face. No, it's a fabulous idea. It's a fabulous idea in Missouri. The reality is that yes, this stream is growing, but I also would like to see it grow a little further. No, as a matter of fact, I'd like to see it grow a lot further. I keep looking at it going, there are like literally hundreds of thousands of people either listening to people tell you the world's going to end or watching people play video games. Now, I don't know. There seems to be something wrong with the attention span there. Maybe it's just me. I do play Skyrim, and I do get caught up in it on occasion. Okay. I will be going back to school in 2024. Haven't entirely decided what I'm going for. But I do know it's time to start pushing limits. And I figure if I can go back to school to pick something up, Yeah, Celestia saying, see, I don't play the online games because number one, I can't track them fast enough. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be getting a new system next year. Only next year, I'm going to get one that will actually handle it. That will actually handle some of this. Because I know it's time for me to get into the 21st century. Especially since I'm literally looking at surviving for, well, frankly, about another 77, 78 years. Meaning, I intend on seeing the 22nd century in a functionally healthy body. This functionally healthy body. Okay. There's nothing wrong with online gaming. As a matter of fact, the reality is that there is a lot of good that can come of it. The neat part, the reality is, Missouri, I definitely agree with you. We're looking at this and people are waiting till the last minute. My goal at this point is literally to start getting people to quit waiting for the last moment. Of course, I told one person that, we got to stop waiting till the last moment for the world to end. He says, let me have a nuke. I'm like, well, that does eliminate waiting for the last moment. Might be a little overstated on the survival thing. That's where it gets to be rather complicated, if you will. But we can choose to wait, or we can choose to get off our tail feathers and start making it happen. Derek, how you doing? Yeah. How you doing? I hope your day has been going well. Okay. The neat part about it, by the way, this conversation I'm having with you guys, I'm having at the same time, like not this split second, but I've been having this same conversation with members of the consortium. Okay, with the governing members of the consortium for exactly the same reason. Now, where it comes to Earth, the members of the consortium are sitting back watching to see, is man going to make that jump? Are they going to bomb themselves back to the Stone Age? Or are they going to figure out that they all live on the same first world planet? The fact that somebody has a better shirt does not make them a better person, in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, that's just the reality of it. I remember years ago, I was told that there were business people this guy knew. He says that really need to get to here to talk to you. He says, but you got to upgrade. You've got to get into a suit and tie. I looked at him and I said, if they're interested in my wearing a suit and tie, they're not interested in what I'm talking about. And, this is literally the biggest holdup. I know that I feel better in more up in tidy clothes. I mean, you wouldn't think so because, well, let's face it, my shirt isn't pressed. And I'll be danged if I'm going to bother getting long sleeve shirts. But we can turn this around. And this little endeavor we did today. Okay, I need to go up over there. But this is the web that we're starting to work with. Okay. And this is only part of it, but I'm running out of room to keep breaking it down. So what I'm doing is before the end of the year, I'll have the main constructs laid out. Okay, as far as what I'm looking at. I'll have them done in writing. And I am going to be keeping you guys posted. This is one of my goals for 2024. Is literally to keep you guys right in the loop as far as what is being changed, what is being added, and for that matter, I was going to say what the cost will be, but here's the kicker. The cost of doing it is nothing compared to the cost of not doing something. Okay, we are in an absolute sheep show if we don't start pulling together and, drag our tail feathers off the chair and start making things happen. Well, Derek, all you gotta do there is just don't shave them, presuming you can grow them. Some people cannot grow facial hair worth a hoot. Not to start with, but that too can be altered. One of the biggest mistakes made centuries back when the idea was to get people to work together was the off-worlders and the ancient races were not included in the overall equation. Neither were the plants plants, animals, and elementals, by the way. Okay, so when we're talking about everything being connected, I'm telling you that literally means everything. Whether we are talking in the earth, on the earth, or outside of the earth, it is all connected. And all is directly affected by karmic law. Okay, even the ones you refer to as God are affected by karmic law. And this is the thing we have to realize. Every single one of you is worth the effort. Yes, we are going to lose many people over the next number of years. Okay, many people are going to fall by the wayside. Either they're going to get distracted by, oh, you could have all this money for no work, for no effort. Apparently you can. But let me ask you this. Which feels better? Somebody handing you a $5 bill, and I don't mean which is easier. I mean which feels better. Somebody handing you a $5 bill, or somebody giving you a task, and you do a little bit of work and get the reward for work well done of a $5 bill. Now, in today's world, $5 is pocket change. Okay, but that's a direct result of greed. Now, the neat thing here, I agree with you in that way. Where are we here? Yes, they do. And I don't see a problem with having it personally. Okay, but the neat thing here, this entire web, okay, now you can picture what kind of money this can generate. I figured out how to take 80% of the net profit and turn it back to the people involved. The workers, the employees, the volunteers, the contributors, the clients, the customers, all of it is going, like I said, 80% of the net profit is going to end up going back. The funny part about it is money sitting in your pocket doesn't do much good. I know for an absolute certainty, if you take the word of the people I've talked to, okay, that you put money in the bank, you invest it, they're giving you, oh, we're going to give you 5-6%. That's a great return on your money. It is, until you realize they're making 20. Now, personally, I don't care how much other people are making as long as I'm surviving. The neat part about it is when we take a look at this world, okay, we have the ability, we've got the opportunity to change the direction it's going in. Okay, now it's just, now it's just a question of, Are we going to get off our tail feathers in 2024 and start things moving? I've already started things moving in this year. I'm not waiting until 2024. See, here's the neat thing, Derek. I look at it kind of different. Money, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people I've spoken to, money does not buy you happiness. But what it does buy you is the ability to look for happiness in a whole lot of other places. Okay, money itself, stuff itself, is not the key factor. It's how that stuff makes you feel. And what would you do if I told you there is a way of looking at the world to find that happiness without the money? The money is necessary to pay bills in today's world. Absolutely. Gee, shock of shocks. We're at 156. Obviously, the throat is about to seize up on me, but yes, the thing is, Missouri. Okay, when we take a look at it, money is an agreed upon barter system. That's it. But in my opinion, it's easier to move a $10 bill or a bank card than it is to move a cow. Oh, here's the neat part. Celeste, here's the really neat part. Oh, the money will absolutely change it. And this is one of the things that I am looking at myself. Okay. I'm not saying money is bad, don't get me wrong. It's just money has to become a side effect, not a goal. When money becomes a side effect, you'll find you're a whole lot less stressed. But with this in mind, if you do like the stream, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Now, we are on Sunday right now. Tomorrow is Monday, and I still haven't done that. So I don't know where. I know we're going to be looking at the aliens and that side of thing. I just don't know what just yet. Thank you so much for that, Derek. Guys, I am going. This is, we are at the 2-hour mark here. Where are we? So we take this. We are at the 2-hour mark, but I really want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It really is appreciated, and your support is frankly virtually irreplaceable. Thank you so much for sharing your time. I will be back, but until then, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.